Red Voyage News, splashing the check-in. Thank you for tuning in. I have an article right here brought to you by the Bangkok Post. 5 Hong Kong protesters seek asylum in the U.S. Let me just read a paragraph first, and then I'll give you guys my opinion. 5 Hong Kong democracy protesters who reportedly fled to Taiwan have arrived in the United States intending to seek asylum, and an activist group said on Saturday. Their escape follows the mass arrest of democracy figures in Hong Kong under a new national security law that is part of a mounting crackdown by China on the financial hub. Now, since 2019, 11,000 protesters have been arrested in Hong Kong. And last year in 2020, over 50 people applied for asylum in America. Now, just because people that apply for asylum in America, should that be granted towards them? Obviously they're not going to grant asylum for everybody, but in my opinion, no. If there's somebody in a position of power that choose to help them just out of pure altruism, that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with it, but at the same time, I like to treat people how they treat me. Just because you're going through turmoil, okay? Just because you're going through turmoil in your own country, how have you treated people from America over the years? Sure, you grant them a longer tourist visa. And I'm not just speaking from somebody who's just hating or whatever, and I live in America. No, I've been traveling abroad for 12 years. I spent over 7 years in Asia alone. I've seen this firsthand. On mainland China, I used to live on mainland China. I've seen a lot of Americans get arrested for no reason. I've seen a lot of Americans get arrested for protecting themselves. They were attacked. They were being attacked because they were just walking hand in hand with a Chinese woman. They found love in China. They had a girlfriend. They were walking hand in hand with a Chinese woman, and people approached them with bats, sticks, swords. You can even look that up in Beijing in the Sanlitun area. Type that in, Tuanjehu Station, Sanlitun area, Sanlitun. There was a guy a few years back who killed a French woman's Chinese wife because he was married to her. Now, let's say he swung that sword and missed, and the Frenchman protected him and his wife and put that guy down, he would be arrested. I mean, there are stories in the past where this has happened. A mob showed up because they felt like two people should not be together. And when the man was protecting himself and his lady against the mob that were attacking them, all of a sudden he's getting arrested. He's getting his passport taken. There are people that can falsely accuse you of something. They can lie on you, but they always believe the local citizen first over the foreigner. I've been told that, hey, you can't work here, you're black. I've been told that many times in mainland China. I know people that regardless, even if they get married, they still have to check in with immigration every single year and still pay a fine every single year to renew their visa. There are companies, American-owned companies that, they make money in China, they run their business in China, but they're not allowed to take their money out of China. You get treated so much differently because you're a foreigner, and because you're a Westerner, you're a foreigner. It's a homogenous society. You can never become Chinese. As a matter of fact, if you have a child in mainland China, your son or daughter will be accepted as a Chinese person. It's like they're not Western enough to be able to leave, to be granted a passport in order to leave China, and they're not Chinese enough to, get all the benefits and, loans and be able to open a business like how other Chinese, and the list just goes on with the benefits they can receive if they were 100% Chinese. In my opinion, man, I could go on and on and on, and I'm not. That's for another video. In my opinion, if it's a handful, then so be it. But for everybody who just applies for asylum, and that's not what this article is saying, but if everybody that just applies for asylum is just granted in America, no, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. Seeing what I've seen over the years, I mean, and like I said, life ain't fair, but I believe in treating others on how they treat you. On top of that, these were people who had to flee from their country to Taiwan in order to gain asylum in America. So, and from what I'm reading, by law, they were committing a crime. You know, under Chinese law, these are considered criminals. That's why they had to flee. That's why they had to secretly flee from Hong Kong and come over to Taiwan. So it's like you're giving criminals a home. These weren't people that just, that just said, hey, I want up and leave. No, these were people that committed a crime under their rules and regulations, under their guidelines, under their laws. They were criminals. And we're granting asylum for criminals. Now, I'm all about helping people. If they didn't commit a crime, then, hey, let them stay if they so choose. It's not, it's not my decision, but, I'm just giving my opinion. If they commit a crime, I remember I was trying to get a visa. I was just trying to get an open work visa in Canada. I followed all the rules and regulations. I even paid all my fees. I had an immigration lawyer. I waited patiently. They still told me no. And by law, what they were asking me, some of the things they were asking me, it wasn't even in the regulation. It wasn't a requirement. I gave them everything that they asked for and they still told me no. So I'm like, all right, so be it. I just left it. Canada just wasn't for me. But hey, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop right here. That's just my opinion. How do you feel about it? Am I wrong? Or do you agree? How do you feel about what I just said? Comment in the section below. Keep it classy. Like, subscribe, share. See you on the next video. Peace.